everyone. Today we have our another new episodes and Merry Christmas everyone. Today we're going to discuss on robotics. We have our world famous speaker Dr. Tamanna Koshle as well as Professor David Smith. And we have our new startup which is launched in Bangladesh. And they actually work on research and innovation oriented projects, especially they develop robotics. So we will hear from Mr. Udoy. First, I would like to give chance Dr. Tamanna.
Okay, yeah. So robotics design, construct, and the use of machines to perform tasks which are generally likely to be performed by human beings, but by construction of the whole thing, it involves, you know, like like there are certain complicated surgeries, or there are kind of repetitive tasks which can be performed by robots. So uh, uh, robotics integrates many fields. So that deals with specific tasks of robotics. So for example, with mechanical engineering, the robotics refers to construction of physical structures of a robot, while in a computer science, robotics focuses on the making the software of a robot. Then there are also many aspects of robotic development in several other streams as well, and it's by the day increasing. Use of robotics and AI in a big way. So as far as the starting of robotics is concerned, 3rd century BC, one of the earliest description of robotics could be seen in the Lizi text on much earlier encounter between King Mu of Zhou and a mechanical engineer known as Yang Shi, an artificer. They allegedly presented the king with a life-size human-sized shaped figure of the mechanical handwork. So that way it's been developing since then, and now it's been brought to more focus with AI coming into being. So Japanese robotist Masahiro Mori proposed that as human likeliness increases in an object design, so does one's affinity of the object, giving rise to phenomena such as uncanny valley. According to this theory, when the artificial likeness nears total accuracy, affinity drops. So so there's in that uncanniness that you have somebody like a human being standing right next to you. So probably that might just lead to some kind of uncanniness. So yeah, so that's what my opening remarks would be, Sharif.
Thank you. Professor David Smith, what you want to discuss about robotics?
Sure, thank you. As she was saying, a robot's machine that can take many, many different forms, and they're machines that can carry out complex series of actions, usually automatically, sometimes autonomously, sometimes programmed, and it can be, like I said, guided by external control devices. It could be guided by what's built inside the robot itself. Or it could be one using some of the more advanced forms of innovation and artificial intelligence and machine vision and others as well. Uh, robotics is also a engineering discipline in many colleges and universities as well, and it is dealing with the design and construction and operation of the robots, and has helped revolutionize a lot of industries. Um, the concept of though of artificial human robots uh, really predates recorded history, but the modern term of robots really goes back to around 1920 in a play that was used, and then you saw others begin to adapt it uh, more about 20 years later. Um, and as you were saying, robots have a wide applications in industry, science, healthcare. Uh, we're beginning to see it used more and more in the military, and robots have an impact in culture as well. Uh, you know, some of the places I see some of the more advanced robots today are in healthcare, they're in manufacturing, they're in space exploration. We're seeing more robots in entertainment. And we're seeing robots begin to be extended into things like the retail industry, particularly restaurants and others, where robots are being used in all facets, from helping prepare the food to delivering it to the customers at their tables. Um, the delivery of the robots in particularly the food industry dramatically accelerated during COVID. And that was very important, I thought, during that time. There's also Isaac Asimov has three laws of robotics, which are really important if you're beginning to look at how to design them. The three laws really are: a robot may not injure a human being through action or through interaction, and they cannot allow harm to come to a human being. A robot must, second one is a robot must obey orders given it to by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And the third law of robots is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or the second law. And so you're seeing them begin to use in many different areas. And again, with the globalization of digitalization, the globalization of connectivity, and the real big advances in all different types of artificial intelligence, visioning, and other things, uh, we're beginning to see it. Yeah, I would like to have um, a HAL 9000 robot to help me with some of the things that we see, or from the Jetson. I would like Rosie to be able to get up and have breakfast ready for me and things like that. We're not quite there with those yet, but we're beginning to see uh, that happening very quickly. The growth of drones. Drones are a type of robot. Is going very dramatically. We see them being used in conflict more and more, but we're also seeing robots being used, for example, in Africa, South America, and others, where the robots and robot drones are taking medicines, supplies to places where we need them. We're seeing them used in recycling, and that is place that's helping us begin to look at how to meet the targets that have been in COP and others like that. Uh, in warehouses, tremendous growth of robots. We know that robots started very early, for example, in the automobile manufacturing world and semiconductors and others, but now they're being used dramatically in warehouses where there's dangerous, repetitive uh, tasks there, and where there's a high accident rate and things for humans. And we're seeing uh, right down the street from my house is one of the big Amazon delivery centers, which probably 90% of the pulling from that facility is done by robots. Uh, we're seeing them used in healthcare dramatically. Again, during COVID, the use went up even further. We're seeing it. We're seeing it being used in agriculture, and particularly with farms, both farms outside and we're seeing robots really running indoor farms much more than humans. Robots inside in an indoor farm, uh, you do not need to take up all the extra space and things you see in outside farms. So we're seeing uh, that happening very dramatically. Sharif, I talk a lot about collaboration, and really, if you think about collaborating with these software-driven, artificial intelligence enhanced co-workers is no longer in the future. It's now. And that type of collaboration, that type of learning, that type of exchange is happening now every day. So, Sharif, that's my opening remarks.
Thank you. Mr. Uda, what you want to discuss about robotics? And I think we want to know more about your startup and work talent economy forum in our business incubation. We already invite your startup. So how we can help your startup?
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone. In the current landscape, the robotics has transited the boundaries of science that we all know, and is becoming an integrated part of our daily lives. So, from the manufacturing floor of industries and surgical to the hospital surgical room, there are all of robots are now working. It's not the future; it's now, that our previously uh, professor was said. And what we are actually doing currently in my startup name is Ant Robotics, which is providing two solutions in industrial and educational solution. So let's make a moment to reflect on our extraordinary facts that robots has already achieved. Industries have already witnessed that the efficiency of robots, that we all know, that garments are using day by day robotics and automation solution, especially the IoT, predictive maintenance, AI, and lots of solutions. But if we see on the educational part, we have a huge labor skill labor gap, that we all know, and we have the knowledge and we have the strategies that there is a huge gap. That's why we around the world there are maybe might $8 trillion revenue losses in year, not in like 5 year or 2 year, in 1 year. So this is our main problem that we are addressing now, and we are providing our solutions to the industry and also the academia, especially the practical learning sector, where universities are focusing on. So here we providing our like no coding solution firstly, because the technical solution are hardly to become the achieve, like software engineer and other things. So software engineer are day by day learning the things, but we are providing as much as for the general people like me, or some business developer who don't know about the coding, but he have to solve some technical problem. So we are providing that no code solution, but he can develop some software or technical solutions. So this is our main become goal to providing the academia solution. And for the industry, we providing a like framework to understand the AI policy development, how can they integrate their machines and automate the things and increase their like profitability. So these all of the things we provided from our startup currently. And especially the education part, we is becoming more interesting because like day by day is a need for our like especially the Southeast Asian regions, because this part is much more need for the technical educations this. So this is my remark space, I think.
Thank you.
We all
Thank you,
understand.
Ganesh.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, when we discuss about robotics, what do you think? Like, uh, for this Industry 5.2 initiative, for this robotics, uh, the emerging economy like Bangladesh, India, and they may lose, the young generation lose job opportunities, it will create unemployment, or what is the new opportunity we have?
I guess, Dr. Sharif, what we need to do is to to see that somehow employment gaps should not come into picture, because there has been ample of research shown that, for example, as far as I'm let me just focus on women right now. Women are going to lose out into the salary gap is going to increase, and because women are less and less into AI, very few women would be seen doing AI. So the gender gap is going to increase. That's a very dangerous trend, and we have to actively kind of, I mean, I hope you are able to do something about this thing, because your startups, etc., should somehow have involved, as Dr. Uday was also saying, that we need to have inclusion of women into AI, and that is the whole thing. And till the time that doesn't happen, I mean, it's going to create more conflicts in the society, because more women are getting educated and they are wanting to enter into better professions. And that's the only thing. And emerging economies like Bangladesh and India and Pakistan, many women are interested, but the government has to sponsor them for this particular purpose, because families might just say that these are very unwomanly professions. So women, in robotics, for example, you'll hear many very less women even in Western societies. So so I guess Bangladesh, India and Pakistan and Nepal, in SARC, for example, we should, SARC has totally become dormant. I guess we should step up uh, our regional friendship, and somehow we should have better solutions to problems like this, where women are being disregarded in the field. So, and also, as far as as far as emerging economies are concerned, we should fight it together. Otherwise we all lose it out to the countries which are doing very well in this, prospering in this particular field. So, for example, America, or the Western European countries, where these technologies have been already used, so for several years now. So I guess we need to kind of pace ourselves up and have better solutions to these kind of problems which are arising with new technologies coming into being. And we have to be futuristic in our solutions, so that nobody feels left out. So, for example, people who are from lower, as in like economically lower stratas of society, they have to be encouraged into the whole thing. And philosophy can come here. For example, the Marxists would say that economic tradition has to be respected. So economically, for example, I mean, China is doing pretty well in the field. I mean, amazing work they have been doing. So I guess every economy has to ramp up their particular focus on these issues. And like till the time that doesn't happen, I guess and the problem is going to be severe. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Professor David Smith, I'm coming to you on these questions, but I want to take a response from Uday because he's in Bangladesh. So, Uday, what do you think? Like, uh, for robotics and AI, the youth community, they are losing job opportunity in Bangladesh. What's happening? Or the youth get more opportunity to involve the economical uplifting?
Thank you so much. In Bangladesh, particularly, the youth are really admiring the tech opportunities, especially the university people, like girls and boys, both are like who are now in educating or learning the tech, especially the engineering background. This is really booming. But the one thing that should aware about our concern about our Bangladeshi young people, that they are not so much up to the mark of the skills, like to developing some software or something. So this is one that happening in Bangladesh. But the opportunity is really tremendous and huge, that must be said, because the upcoming opportunities like robotics engineer, artificial intelligence, autonomous engineers, or even the cobot specialists, like you have to maintain your robot or something, to the machine maintenance things that are booming in Bangladesh also, the positions or opportunity things. So the manpower should be here addressed as a opportunity. But somehow our education systems or like policies are way behind this. But in government perspective, they are taking some initiatives, like our government also taking some initiatives with with the authority of university grant commissions. So day by day, this opportunity addresses by the government and also the private stakeholders. So this is where we as a startup or as a consultant can be do a impact in the society also. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor David, what do you think? How it will create opportunity, or it's actually create less opportunity for the youth, especially for the job market?
Well, I think it actually does both of those, Dr. Shree. That sounds kind of different. Uh, it's like in the youth community. I'm a judge in the United States for something called U.S. Robotics, which is a program that teaches robotics to high school and actually junior high kids all around the United States. And I'm amazed at the progress you see with the youth. The U.S. robotics competition is more than just building a robot. It has to perform tasks. They have to go out and collaborate with others in the community and document that. They have to document the whole process of what they did to put it together. They have to program the software to be able to do the functions they're doing with their robots. And at these competitions, you literally see hundreds and hundreds of students in each one of these competitions working on the teams of 8 to 10 young people on each of those teams. So you see that going very dramatically. Um, Also, Dr. Sharif, I think you see us going further with it because, robotics is really a very, very diverse sector with many, many different moving parts. And as you look at what it takes to be successful, you have to have people who understand mechanical science, material science, software engineers. You need to have vision specialists. You might need to have touch and tactical specialists. You need to be able to even understand the culture of some of the areas where you're working with, particularly as you move from industrial robotics and just social robotics and others. The company's doing it. I applaud the startup there because they have to be really very, very nimble today. They have to be very aggressive today to be able to be successful in this area. And today, I congratulate you for what you're doing there in a field that is moving very dynamically there. And you know, the field of robotics is one that's getting more and more crowded all the time, though. So it's one that there's a lot of future, but there's beginning to be a lot of competition in it because robots can really be broken down into multiple categories. There's the conventional industrial robots and cobots. Uh, and those with doing what's called stationary professional services, such as some of those in medical and agriculture. You have mobile professional services, such as cleaning, construction, underwater. And then you have the automated guided vehicles today, where you're seeing a lot of growth with, like I talked about, drones, autonomous delivery trucks, other things like that. Uh, Sharif, you know that down the street from me here in Austin, Texas, is Elon Musk's Gigafactory and some of his other things. And the amount of robots used both in the manufacturing of the Tesla product lines and things, but also the robots that he's building. He has now introduced his first autonomous humanoid robot, and it's amazing the advances on that particular one, what can be done with the hand, and the tactical part of that is just amazing as you're going forward. And you're going to see that some of the changing consumer preferences and social trends will accelerate the needs for advanced robots and advanced robot solutions that your students and others can very well take advantage of. And you're also going to see that as the manufacturing process changes, as we go back to more regional manufacturing that we've learned from COVID and other things, it's going to force new and new types and greater diversification of robots there. You're going to see uh, increasing use of robots for sustainability and recycling, and others like that. And with the aging demographics of people, as we age and begin to lose some of our mobility and things, you're going to see robots and vehicles more and more of the home, particularly to help both an aging population and a population with young children as well. And so you're going to see it go that way. And the other place the students, Dr. Sharif, need to help us enhance and develop and bring new products to marketplace is the area of human to robot interaction. How do we work with them? How do we communicate? How do we look at new advances in machine intelligence, new advances in connectivity and control for the robots? And how do we take the advances in artificial intelligence, machine vision, sensors, and others to allow robots to handle really unsupervised, unexpected situations, uh, and do it in a way that uh, meets our human norms and expectations. So, Dr. Sharif, I hope this answered your question.
Thank you. Mr. Rob, what do you think? How we can develop better policy for robotics and AI? How we can develop better policy for robotics and AI?
Oh, thank you so much. This is very diplomatic question. So uh, it should be come by regional basis. If I say that in Bangladesh, that particularly currently is developing the policy, like we know very well that IoT policy is just to begin. Like in back in 2090, this policy just began with the draft policy, and after that, that published for the uses for everyone, that in internet of things, like what frequency should we use to buy the things, or um, government will provided the support to import the tools from the like foreign company. So yet not to develop any kind of robotics policy, but we are trying. Like in Bangladesh, there is like four or three robotics startups are currently doing in the market to uh, adopt this type of international policies that already provided for the or follow uh, different type of organizations. So what we currently doing with collaborating with our government, we are providing those kind of policies that firstly we should have to know about like the STM, robotics, and IoT and AI development things that should support in the fourth industrial revolutions or the 5.0 even. So secondly, we should have to allow to import the R&D tools that we need regularly daily basis to develop the product for for providing in the marketplace. And thirdly, I should say that government and public collaborations should have a very big place. Like Dr. Sharif and others organizations should come to here and should help to government to become write a good policy for a startup professors, and also the even university teaching styles, and the research should be more to promote daily basis. Yeah, thank you so much. I think I give you the
Thank
message.
you. Thank you, Dr. Tamanna. What's your view about policy development in terms of robotics and AI?
Yeah, so I guess, Sharif, what we need to do is, as I mean, the professor is also saying that in Bangladesh, you have started a startup. So India too, for example, the All India Council for Robotics and Automation has announced announced the launch of new initiatives, tech startup program. So it will be an incubation environment for startups and early stage adopters on robotics and robotics process automation in India. And RPA is a robotics and robotics process automation. It's a technology capability that allows the streamlining of operations in the enterprises. So it also allows them to automate their mundane and tedious processes, thereby enabling users to enhance their productivity through higher value adding tasks. So, for example, the link between robotics and family. So, what really can happen if, for example, in every home we have, if futuristically seeing, 2040, if we aim at, a developing world like ours, SAARC countries, so mundane work would be done by the robots, and the crucial work would be done by the humans, so they can focus more on more important works rather than doing day by day processing of work. So that's interesting. But I guess the state needs to enter in, and it has to encourage definite as Professor David was also saying, about competition. So in India too, academically we are doing pretty well. In every colleges, universities, in every subject, we follow competition. For example, I'm doing law. I'm into many competitions right now. So as far as robotics is concerned, among young people, it is being encouraged in a big way. Though obviously, as I was saying, gender gap is there, but that has to somehow the government has to enter in and encourage students to women students to come forward and take up the subject, make it more add on scholarships, fellowships for young women, men, for example, from the poorer sections, so that the technology is equitably distributed rather than it's being distributed only to the rich people, because obviously these courses are slightly expensive. They're not like very easily. So startups are something which can give a boost to this system. So I guess the state has to come in, plus corporates, they should encourage the whole policy making structure. And for example, in India we have Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog works in a way which is like planning commission, which is previously called Planning Commission of India. Now Niti Aayog does that work. So Niti Aayog does give advice to the government, what policies are important and what have to be followed, and what is a trend in the world right now. So what they do is, they advise the government, and the government then follows in suit. So uh, you know I guess the Niti Aayog can do that work, as well as the corporates and the non-government organization structure, which can have we can have you know so for example, All India Council for Robotics and Automation is a not for profit organization established in 2014. So it's a relatively new thing for our world right now, developing world. But I guess China caught up pretty fast, the whole development of robotics. So I guess that way India also needs to, and we have to work cooperatively together. So I guess Bangladesh, India, I mean, we should develop together in a way that helps our whole all the population, from be it from any region, sex, religion. Everybody should profit. No religion or sex or be it transgenders, for example, or anybody, for example, they shouldn't be left back. Every strata of society needs to be included. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor David Smith.
Um, if I can just say ditto to what she said, that'd be part of what I would do, and that all parts of society should be involved as you're looking at this, and it's going because the market size is really taking off on this too, because And today, the market size is about $40 billion. In 2028, it's supposed to be about $85 billion. And the largest market is in the Asian Pacific area today. The fastest growing market is in North America, as we see this going forward and what's being done. And the investor interest in robotics is beginning to really uh, pick up now. And the International Federation of Robotics is saying that this demand is really driven very heavily by the new service applications in areas like healthcare and space and transportation and others like that. But you're seeing really there's fundamental advances that are helping drive these cognitive machines, these intelligence machines, and they're as you said, digitalization industry 4.0 have really encouraged the growth of automation in industries by the actively encouragement of more advanced, more automated, more sustainable solutions. And that is one that is going to be very important in both the developing and the developed world under the Industry 4.0. And some of the key elements of robotics for Industry 4.0 is enhancing the connectivity and using the data and beginning to look at how to do that on a global basis because robotics today, with the growth of Industry 4.0 and with the growth of digitalization and the growth of sensors and not just IoT, but intelligent Internet of Things, are really beginning to see dramatic trends happening there uh, and how they're going to be able to be used. Uh, the real exciting trend to me, Dr. Shree, that I think is going to be promising for startups, for students, and even for governments around the world, is we're seeing the movement now of robotics from being primarily robotics that large corporations use to robotics that can be used in medium-sized small businesses and things like I said earlier, restaurants. The first time I had my meal delivered to me from the kitchen to my table on a robot, it surprised me. But then I saw the efficiency of that, particularly that was during COVID, really happen well there. But also we're seeing robots used now more and more as social robots at homes where particularly for the elderly or for the disabled and others, where you can actually carry on conversations with robots and have them be a companion, where they can help make sure you take your medicine, they can help with tasks around the home. So it's this pretend continuing diversity of applications that I think are going to make it exciting, Dr. Street, for any of your students, any innovation labs, any incubators, any accelerators uh, around the world to help promote the pretend the expansion of the applications that robotics can be used for.
Thank you. Mr. Uday, what's your closing remarks for today's session?
Thank you. So I want to share with you the market size actually. The robotics market size is currently 42 billion US dollar. That's we maybe know everyone. So this is not the end of the number. Each year is raising CAGR like to 15%. So this is a huge market that we can play or we can make an impact, especially the social impact. I am talking about the social impact. So this huge market that emerging technology in robotics such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and advanced sensors are contributing overall growth in this robotics market. So this technology should be open for all, and we should be more like to change the our education system, and we should be more practically learn about those the futuristic skills, and we should skilled about the future of job skills that might be good for our society and for our economy. This is like I believe in for, and I start my startup for currently. And the end of everything, we I think the robotics will be take away for the future, and the automation is the next the big things that we might see in like nearly in 2030. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, what's your closing remarks for today?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the major thing also which I wanted to point out, I mean, towards the end, I guess, in as far as my closing remarks are concerned, is the, because religion is something which is very important to most people, and that's central to the cultural being of a person. You are culturally embedded. So, many research papers are saying now that there is an intersection of religion and robots. So, for example, I was reading an article in which it said that the Christianity has the concept of stewardship, which means using the talents and resource pool. So God gave us to look, according to them, according to the researcher, God gave us to look after and make the world better. So they say the using AI in a more ethical and in a more responsible way would help, people connect to God, as well as they will also be able to able to manage things ethically. So I guess I would uh, as the technology develops, the dangers of certain kind of problems might just increase, that robots would take over humans, if it really AI develops to such an extent that a lot of problems are generated by it. So I guess we have to be careful about that, and humans have to be in charge for that matter, and not let machines take over, because emotions are something which are central to human beings, be it women, men, or of any religion. Emotion something, when where there is a war, for example, when you see people in Palestine dying, because of attacks or something, you get emotionally connected to people. So I guess emotions are central to human nature. So I guess that is what is the central being of humans, and our connection spiritually, etc., which might, there are certain things which I guess it's difficult for robots to uh, deal with. So I mean, I hope the technology is in control of humans. That's what I really want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor David Smith.
Dr. Sri, thank you again for another session going forward. And you did. Congratulations to you again for your startup and what you're trying to do there in Bangladesh. Uh, the future of robotics really is very bright, uh, with all the advances we're seeing very rapidly in artificial intelligence and generative AI, and medical AI, and machine learning, and uh, sensors, and again, all different types from NLPs to help robots understand voice and text, to machine vision so that they can see and touch, and others. Um, I'm hope we see more programs globally like the one I'm involved with, the U.S. Robotics as a judge, to help the youth, and through the youth to their parents, take a deeper view of education of robotics. As in most industries, we know that education is a key component here, and that it needs to be educated across the entire ecosystem. What robotics are, what they can do, what the risks are with robotics, and those as well. From collaborative robots in manufacturing to uh, machine programmable robots to autonomous robots and drones in agriculture and many, many different areas. Uh, robots are transforming industries, they're transforming services, and they're enhancing our daily lives. Yeah. According to some folks, like a recent thing by the World Economic Forum, recent advances in AIs are leading to the emergence of new classes of robots that are approaching what you're going to see AGI and AI, where they can see, they can learn, they can think, they can take actions, they can react to their surroundings. And these robots are going to play a very critical role, I believe, in our workplaces, in our households, uh, and in our day to day transportation needs and even retail needs, uh, really within the next 5 years from where we are today. As Yunde said earlier, the robots are here today. But in the future, robots can help us in many, many different ways. They could be used for dangerous tasks such as firefighting, bomb disposal, exploring under the water, exploring space. They can also be able to use, like I said, with elderly people and people with disability in their daily activities. Uh, and robots can be used to help us with our sustainability options from uh, being used for monitoring crops, soil conditions, to helping maintain the biosphere and the different areas about that. However, there are some concerns about the future of robots. Some people worry that robots could replace human workers and lead to job loss. And some jobs will be lost to robots, but the use of robotics will open many, many more new jobs, I believe. Uh, other people worry about robotics use in things such as cyber attacks and terrorism and war. Yes, there are concerns there, uh, but that is an area which, as they say, the genie's out of the bottle, and it's going to be hard to draw those back. But to help address these concerns, it's important for us to develop regulations, guidelines, ethical guidelines for the use of robotics, and see if we can put those in a way where it can be adapted globally. With our global society, uh, things like this need to become unified. And only through this unification of these ethical considerations, these regulatory considerations, uh, can we see robots being used for the greater good for humankind. So, Dr. Sharif, thank you for letting me have my closing remarks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's session, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas. Thank you.